So imagine this, you're a proud owner of a Tesla, what is it, Model 3 or a Model Y. You love your Autopilot feature that's on these cars. You wanna sit back, kick back, and just enjoy the drive. Well, they might be changing the way that they monitor how they make sure that you're paying attention. Let's go to this from TechCrunch. So in a software update, Tesla indicated that the quote, cabin area above the rear view mirror in the car can now detect and alert driver inattentiveness while Autopilot is engaged. Notably, Tesla has closed the loop system for the data. So that means imagery captured by the camera while you're in the car does not leave the car. Remember that, you guys. The footage inside the camera from this built-in camera in the car that you bought from this place does not leave the car. Next sentence. The system cannot save or transmit information unless data sharing is enabled.
Oh, in other words,
then it leaves the car. So anyway, so to get to the reason why they did it this way. So you guys remember there was some folks that were using the feature and they were abusing it, and a few people died. The cars weren't actually driven by anyone. This computer system didn't know that there was a truck right in front of it. Things like that happened and people died. It was tragic. So Tesla has been facing criticism for not activating this driver monitoring system with the vehicle, even as evidence mounted that owners were misusing the system. So owners have posted dozens of videos on YouTube, TikTok of them abusing this Autopilot system, because that's fun. Some of those have filmed themselves sitting in the back seat as the vehicle drives along the highway. Continuing on, until now, Tesla has not used the camera installed in its vehicles and instead relied on sensors in the steering wheel that measured the torque. I'm gonna pause for a second. Tesla has not used the camera installed in its vehicles. Why is it there? Continuing on, a method that's supposed to require the driver to keep their hands on the steering wheel. Drivers have documented and shared on social media how to trick the sensors into thinking a human is actually holding the steering wheel. And lastly,
seems
Tesla
like a really good idea, by the way.
Yeah, just make sure we, I don't know, have some kind of grip. I'm not sure what they did. I didn't watch the videos, but Tesla didn't share the details about the driver monitoring system. For instance, is it tracking eye gaze or head position, or whether it would be used to allow hands-free driving? So they didn't really tell what it's gonna do to make sure that this new system and watching you, by whichever way they're watching you, will keep you from not paying attention.
Okay, let's break this down. Okay, first of all, unless the data sharing is enabled, means, oh, we're gonna do a system update, you're gonna click yes, and you're gonna accidentally enable data sharing. Because nobody reads that stuff. Jayar was talking about it this morning when we were talking about this story, and he's absolutely right. Nobody reads that, and oh, your data sharing was enabled. We watched everything you did in your car. Disaster, okay.
Because you wanna use your maps, it starts up and it goes, oh, it's the beginning of the month, click OK so that your maps can be used. Because especially in Teslas, I'm sorry, specifically with this Autopilot feature, in order for it to take you to your destination without you doing anything, you have to put it in the maps. In order to put it in the maps, you have to agree.
Well, thank you for sharing your data, including the camera inside your car, recording at all times. And so I'm not a tech guy, and so damn it, Jim, I'm a talk show host. I'm not a tech guy. So I don't know how it works that a non-human can tell that you're not driving the car, and then what does it do? Does it punish you? Does the seat zap you? Right? Like get your hands back on the steering wheel. Like so,
don't make me pull this car over.
Yeah, don't make me pull this car over. You will get out here. You will walk home. Or do they have humans watching what you're doing in the car? And look, the Autopilot, I don't know how that works. And I get it. Yes, computers make mistakes, but so do humans. Do humans make them more? Probably. Is it safe to have the guy in the back seat? Probably not. But look, guys, obviously everybody's free to do what they want, but I am deeply uncomfortable with a camera recording you at all times inside your own car. Mike.
Yeah, what I was struck by was I just kept thinking of Edward Snowden and his discussions of how the NSA was keeping track of like your nudes, and I couldn't help but think that these images and recordings in these cars will be kept somewhere and will be intercepted and will be available, and our privacy is becoming obliterated more and more and more by our smartphones and the technology and the data that's collected. And now it's going to be like literal video of you through your entire commute, where you go, that. And I can imagine like law enforcement getting warrants and then getting access to this data. And now suddenly like people can be tracked in a much more robust way with like video recordings and things like that. And I can't help but be like doomer about the future of privacy in a tech world owned by the likes of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. And they've continued to gain more and more power. There's more consolidations. More, these big tech companies have more and more ability to monitor you and control you, and they have data on you. I don't know. It frightens me that we have this kind of world. I know it's a fun story, but at the same time, I think the long-term implications of this are pretty disturbing to me. And like we need to again do something to protect ourselves from the future of these tech companies knowing everything about you.
Well, Mike, if you're not doing anything, you have nothing to hide.
Exactly.
I mean, the worst that I do is sing badly in the car when I'm by myself to R&B songs that I can't sing. But I try it there. That's when you test it out. It's like singing in the shower, except I have a family now and they can still hear me. So my solitude is in the car, belting. I don't want Tesla to know about that. I don't want them to hear me singing badly. I mean, but it just starts there.
Yeah, I do like Tarantino-like movies in my head, and then I sometimes say them out loud. God, and they're like, "Oh my God, what is this guy thinking?" Right?
He just you would be flagged immediately.
Yeah,
I can see you being flagged immediately by the carnivore program. This man Cenk is saying these things alone in the car. Target. You'll be pulled over. Yeah, you'll be pulled over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but look, Mike's making a really important and profound point. It's one thing for the government to have all your private information, which is already disastrous enough. By the way, side note, looking forward to a progressive president that instantly pardons Edward Snowden. All the mainstream media and the national security apparatus cry, "Oh, you can't do that." Yeah, I just did. Let's move on. Okay, and that should happen. I can't wait for it to happen. Absolute American hero. But it's one thing for the government to do it already bad enough. Now we're just gonna let private individuals have all of your files, right? And have all of your recordings.
They're important.
And we kind of already do. I mean, let's be honest about the phones, right? I forget, this is not exactly what happened, but it's good enough. I think that, it's the kind of thing that's happened to a lot of us. I was in the car talking to, let's just use this as an example. It's I don't remember the exact thing that happened, but it's good enough. I think it was talking about Ottoman Empire with my sister or something like that in the car, but my phone's on me. I get home, I go to my desktop, and there's an advertisement for Ottoman stools.
Bro, Ottoman like the stools?
Like the stools, right? And so they're already there. And Facebook in their app, I think, could pull up your actual camera from your phone. Can Apple pull up the camera from the phone? Of course, it's an Apple, right? And so for now, we think they're only abusing it for the data, right? And selling you stuff. But what if you said something against Tim Cook and Tim Cook didn't like it? And the file of everything you're doing is right there. It's right there, right? And now Elon Musk might have all of your files of what you did in the camera. It's right there. And he says, "Don't worry, I won't use it." You sure?
To go over this again, but Edward Snowden already said that this was common in the NSA of people looking at nudes, people looking at their ex-girlfriends and Jesus. Invading their data that they got that was intercepted. So anything that's recorded by these, companies, I would assume is available both to the government and within that company, and there is no protection. And then there's the data breaches that constantly happen. It happens so often it doesn't even bother you anymore. You get another email, "Oh, sorry, all your private data was hacked by some dark web site." And that is just the future that we're living in of this day, if this is recorded, it will become available. And I just get concerned about that. I have a very boring drive. I'm not going anywhere. But at the same time, it still sticks in my craw that this data is going to be available and it will be abused, and a lot of people's privacy is going to be violated.
As long as you stick nothing in your craw, you won't have to worry about anything.
Oh yeah. By the way, remember?
Okay, I can't promise you that.
Remember the fappening? All the celebrity nudes. Oh no, don't worry. If you're not doing anything, they just took private pictures. It was in the cloud. Somebody did a data breach, got the pictures from the clouds, and then there you go. We saw all the celebrities naked. And so now, if you're a rando, I guess they're not going to do anything against you, rando plumber. But God help you if you speak out against the government, where when a party you don't agree with is in office, or in this case, well, that guy criticized Elon Musk. Elon Musk didn't like that, and he happens to have video of him.
Well, Cenk, you remember Elon and the guy that was, remember the children that were being rescued from that underwater cave? And there was some like deep sea diver expert who wanted to go in and rescue the children, but Elon Musk wanted to use some sort of gadget that he invented 5 minutes ago. And so he decided to call the guy a pedo and just totally destroyed the guy's character in the public square, just totally made up because he was interfering with Elon Musk's attempt at getting positive publicity.
This really happened?
So yes, it absolutely happened. Yeah, and so that is something that, if you stand in the way of these oligarchs, they're just going to trash you. And imagine if they actually had something in a data file somewhere that they could manipulate to look bad. So this is the kind of, we need to get these people under control. I don't know what to say. These companies have way too much power in our society. We have the tools. Antitrust law already exists. We just need a president that will actually use the powers that they have.
All right, well, we did a fun poll on this. So tyt.com/polls, let's put that up. So which of these would you prefer when it comes to the autopilot feature? Yes to autopilot with an in-car camera, that's what it is right now in the Teslas, in those brands that Jayar mentioned. Yes to an autopilot, but with no in-car camera. Now you could say, hey, look, that's more dangerous, right? Because they can't check to see if you're sleeping in the back, but at least you get autopilot. Or no to autopilot. Look, I'm old school, okay? So I'm gonna say no to autopilot. I don't need the car to drive for me. I'm right there, I could do it. It's not that hard, okay? Yep. But if it comes with a camera, in-car camera, no way am I doing it. I'm just not.
And by the way, if any of you guys are sitting at home going, oh my God, Tesla, man, I'm not spending all that money. I'm not a Tesla driver. This has nothing to do with me. This automated features are coming on all kinds of cars. I mean, there was a point when cars, the manual transmission was standard, and if you get automatic, that's extra, right? Now most everything is automatic. It's a sweeping change to the way cars will be. And so by the way, Ford has this blue Cruise, and GM has the Super Cruise. These regular car companies, GM, Ford, many people have those that can't afford Teslas. The same type of features with autopilot features are beginning to get integrated into these car systems. So it's not just Tesla.
Yeah, and the Mexicans got a new car they're manufacturing in Cancun, the Ted Cruz. That's gonna have it in there as well.
I don't think anybody wants that, Cenk. Nobody wants that.
You can't drive it in a storm because it just won't work.
No, it drives itself to Cancun. Not so bad. Not so bad.
Not bad.
All right, but I am curious what you guys think. Maybe you guys are new school and have a totally different opinion, and that's totally possible. So tyt.com/polls. Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, Jayar. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.